What's up, YouTube? Coming to you from somewhere in eastern North Carolina. Just wanted to do a review of the new Newport NK180. This is the HD model, which is pretty much the same as the older versions, but they kind of beefed up all the connectors, and therefore you know, you're going to get more connecting and disconnecting and weathering reliability out of that. Anyway, this is specifically on the new Town120 Pro, and I didn't see too many things detailing the motor itself with the Town 120 PDL Pro. So I just wanted to kind of go over it a little bit for people who are kind of looking at maybe getting one. They are, you know, a little bit of money, so it's just something to think about. So I'll take you through it right now, just kind of putzing along down at 4%. And you can see from there, if not earlier, you know, we're going just nowhere, right? 100 mile and a half, something like that. And so that's at 4%. So I will say that, and I'll show you that the steering is fairly responsive. So I'm gonna go ahead and nick it up a little bit. All right, so now I've gone ahead and put it up to 12%. And we should be increasing in speed here a little bit. Maybe not, the wind is pushing us. So we got that going on. And so really nothing yet, because probably the wind is doing most of the work here. All right, we're gonna go up again. All right. So as you can see, we're down at the 25% here. And now with the wind at our backs, we're starting to gain a little speed past just a wind speed. So cruising around about 1.7, 1.8. And I will point out that I've pretty much got the most easy setup going. You can see I'm using my rudder. I didn't do anything with cables, and we're moving fairly slow. So this is about what you'd see with kind of your pedals at this speed. So really nothing's affected, as far as I've heard some reviews that the steering is not really good. But typically with the 180, since it is lower power than the 300, your steering still works. I just pinned it and wanted to go for kind of the easiest motor setup, because, you know, I still run with my pedals when I'm out really fishing, and that way I just use the motor to get from point A to point B. Or if you're, you know, tired at the end of the day and, you know, you've gone 5, 10, 15 miles on the pedals, and now you got to go that same distance back, you know, it kind of gives you a little reprieve there. So you can see with the wind at our back, we're almost at 2 miles an hour, and we're down at 25%. One of the things that you can go to Newport's website, and they have a calculator that you can type in, and you put all sorts of things in: how long your boat is, which model do you have, the NK180 or the NK300, you know, what battery are you using, and you can select all that stuff really easy, and it'll actually give you a range that you can do. And also there's the app that just connects right to the battery. I am running the new Newport Low Pro 24 volt 50 amp hour battery with this. So so far so good. I'm pretty impressed with it. But we'll turn around, go into the wind, and I'll show you a little bit here. So we're getting near the end of this, so just gonna go ahead and turn around. So it's, you know, it turns fine. I mean, it's not, you know, if you put the cables, which the kit does come with the cables, I just didn't want any more cables or wires than necessary. Again, for my purposes, I'm going to be using the motor just to get on long runs from point A to point B, and then of course I'll use the pedals once I actually get to the fishing grounds to kind of, you know, back pedal, forward pedal, maneuver around, all that kind of good stuff that you're used to with the pedals. So we can go ahead and turn See, I'm gonna go ahead, we're starting to turn into the wind a little bit, so I'll kick up the speed just a little bit. And to get this sucker to turn before I hit the bank. And I'm still learning it, so. So there we go, we're just turning. You kind of manipulate the throttle a little bit if you're starting to get too close or what have you. So I did not, you can change the height of this motor. So far I've just got it on kind of the lowest setting, playing around with it. But all right, so now you can see probably by the wave pattern that we are going into the wind. This thing does have a kick-up feature on it, as many of you probably know. All right, so here we are, we're cruising around 39%. And into the wind at 39%, we're doing on the old Town120 Pro almost 2 miles an hour, very close to. There you go. We actually kind of hit it there. And then, so really, and if you go to that calculator, you can see that, you know, not that you're going to do 2 miles an hour with a motor, but if you have to, or if your battery's low or something like that, I mean, I think this thing can do, don't quote me, but I think if you're doing like 2 miles an hour on this hull, you can go for a long time. I mean, I'm not sure if it's 30 or 40 miles, which, you know, for a kayak is ridiculous. So that, but as you increase speed, which I will do, you will, you know, the range of course drops off substantially. So now we're going into the wind. We're at 50% in the Old Town. And where do we sit here? So let's see. This thing says we're still sitting just pushing over 2 mile an hour into the wind. All right, so we'll bump it up. I'll take it up to 60%. All right, so here we are, we're sitting at 60%, and you can see here we're rolling at just over 2.5, so 2.6 miles an hour. You know, depending on if you're using the pedal drive on these units and how heavily you've got them rigged out, that's a pretty good cruising speed. And of course you can go faster, so that's at 60%. We'll bump it up to 70 into the wind. All right, so now we're down at 70%, you can see. And let's see what we're doing on our graph here. So about 2.8, 2.9 at 70%. Typically, depending on the loadout and such, at this percentage, you can do this for about, with one of these batteries, you can do this for about 17 to 18 miles, just to kind of give you some ideas. So we definitely, you know, you're just over 3, you can see it finally caught up. So, I mean, 3 miles an hour, that's pretty good as far as, you know, kind of just putzing around, getting to point A to point B if you want to take a rest or something. The other thing I didn't mention on this was that this motor is extremely light. So like me, I'm a big guy, right? And you got the black pack, you got electronics, you got the pedal drive, so you know, battery in the front hatch, right, for your electronics. So by the time it's all said and done, and you can see not a lot of splash or anything going on inside. By the time it's all said and done, like I was saying, you know, I got to be pretty weight conscious in this kayak. It's got like a working average of like I think 425 pounds is what it recommends. So, you know, I'm about 290 myself, so maybe got a little bit less to work with than other people, but it works pretty good. So yeah, this has got a pretty heavy wind, as you can see, and we're still doing the same power. Probably got about a 15-20 knot gust here. We're just at 2.6. And oh yeah, good thing to test with the wind there. You can see what the wind is doing, and we're still at 70%. So it's coming in. I did have this thing, I'll see what I can do and show you with the wind, but it was calmer conditions earlier, and I had about just under 5 miles an hour. So at 100%, heavily loaded, it had about just under 5 miles an hour. So yeah, you can hear the wind now. It's whipping good, but we're getting breaks in the wind, so hopefully you should start seeing the mile per hour come up, which it is. I'm not messing with the throttle. That's simply overcoming low wind, and then the wind will pick back up. All right, so that's into the wind. We're gonna go, let's do 80%. All right, so now we're at 80%. Good. Going into a heavy wind. So we're pretty close to 3.5 miles an hour. And anyone in pedal kayaks who's gone any sort of distance knows, if you're going into heavy wind in a pedal kayak, trying to really get anywhere, it's gonna be tough for some sort of any sort of length. But the motor really helps out with that, and really it's not terribly expensive. So we're doing 3.5, and that's at 80%. So just to give you guys some detailed thoughts, and then here finally, I'll go ahead for you know, you guys probably already know the 100%, but I'll go ahead and just punch it. So now we're doing 100, and you can really see we're starting to get some chop. And let's see what we get. Yeah, and I probably don't have this thing weighted optimally or even trimmed right, but we're getting some splash, as you can see, with the wind going into it. So yeah, with the wind, you know, you're 4.5 and a heavy 120 Pro, and on a calm day you can get closer to like 4.8, 4.9. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this video. If you're thinking about buying one, I know I didn't see a ton of stuff other than a few shorts, so I wanted to put this one out here. And if you have any questions, leave any comments below. So that's the review of the Old Town 120 PDL Pro with the Newport NK180 HD motor. I like it, and I think it's going to help out a lot. And that's all I got for now. See you guys next time.